Hello, my friends, and happy Valentine's Day. Today is that day that seems to be all about love and chocolates and cards, and also a lot of unhappiness for those who are not the recipients of that. And of course, today is a really good day to talk about love, but I always talk about it from my own angle. I'm sure, like everybody else does. And today I want to invite us to turn that love inward, to turn it back here. We we send out a lot of love. We give and share a lot of love with people that we love, our children, our pets, parents, friends, co-workers. It's natural for us to love. In case you didn't know that, it's very, very natural for us to love. And for whatever reason, this love that we share has a way to just bypass ourselves. Have you noticed? You give and give and give to others, and you just do this little, no, not for me. Well, you may not even think it because that pathway is so well developed that it just goes there automatically. It's kind of a funny thing, but it's also sad. So I did a video about this not too long ago about really letting that love that we feel for others. Is it possible to feel that for ourselves? And it's a very good little exercise for us to do, to start noticing, like, how can it just flow forth naturally to these people and beings that we love. And then somehow when we do it back to ourselves, something happens. Boom. And it is a great way to experiment with our children, our pets, because they're so easy to love for the most part, for the most part. And I also did a video, this is a while ago. I said something like, do I love my pets or my cats more than God loves me? And in a way, I thought that title, it kind of says it all, right? Because somehow we are not expecting that we can be loved ourselves in the way that we love others. It's so weird, when you really start looking at it, it becomes completely weird and nonsensical. But when you're just living in that state of consciousness where you're not included in the love, then of course it's the default, it's the most natural thing, or shall we say the most normal thing, because it's really not natural at all. But it seems like the norm is living that way, and we just are born into that norm, into the matrix, remember, where we are born into believing that we are not worthy of love and whatever forms that shows up. But we can do something to make it more conscious. And I always like to quote Rumi, my favorite quote by Rumi, that says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers that you have built against it inside of yourself. Now, that is what we are doing here. That's what we want to explore and find out. How do we do that? Where are these places that we do this little bypass? For you, not for me. And of course, we're doing it to ourselves, right? Nobody can do that to us. I mean, they may not love us, but nobody can make us not love ourselves. And that's why we need to make it conscious, because it is an unconscious bad habit. So this morning in my meditation, I was just playing with that, turn the love inward. And then the question came like, well, where am I sending it to? Where is it being directed to when I turn it inward? And then when we follow that love that we put out, when we follow it back in, it's like there's a flow out. If that flow would flow back to its source, that's kind of what we're following back in. I mean, we can say the love we put out, now I want to turn around and give it to myself. That's not a bad idea. It's actually helpful when we really become aware of how much we're not loving ourselves, that we can consciously do that. I think it's very important. I am a self-love mentor, so I do have certain tricks and ways that I think are very helpful, but it has to be done consciously and repetitively. But there's another way. If we start following that outward flow back in, and basically follow it to the source. And I may do a meditation about that soon, not today, because I think it might be really helpful where we can kind of follow it slowly. So for today, it's just going to be me talking about it. So you follow it back, and then you realize, obviously, that the love is in here, right? It's coming from inside of us. And we are the ones who let it flow out. If we stay with that, letting it come back to ourselves, turning it inward or turning back inside, we start connecting with the source of love. And guess what? You are that source. You cannot get away from it. You can pretend to get away from it by doing the bypass, but it's still there and it keeps flowing. So then I was just feeling that. And when I do this, there is a curiosity that comes with that. Of course, like an openness to learn, like, what is this? What is this? It's right here. It's just flowing out. And then I got that image of, the torus, right? That energy field that I think it goes both ways, actually. That is basically our energy field, and how we all have one, and it is intact. There's nothing wrong with it, but like we can always turn away from it and pretend that it's not there. I don't recommend it. I have done it, and I'm sure I'm still doing it. So my recommendation to myself is to stop turning away from it. And that's of course why I'm always on this internal journey. So then I experienced this toroidal field, the toroidal field. That is where this love moves from and as. And this is my own field. This is not separate from the divine. This is the divine field that, let's say, every single one of us as a little cell in the big universe of the divine, we're all little cells of the divine. Each one of us has, of course, this toroidal field. Otherwise, we could not exist. It is our existence itself. And then, again, crazy thing to say, it's up to us what we will do with it. We have free will. We were given free will. So if we were given free will, we can choose to turn away from it, pretend it's not us, pretend it's not for us. And then we move out as the prodigal son or daughter, pretending we are cut off from the source, no source connection left. I have to do it all on my own. I am not loved. I am not fulfilled. And I have to go out and find that in this seeming world outside, which is a creation of my own mind based on that choice, the free will, to explore what life is like without the source connection. How did that happen? Why did that happen? I don't know. I have no idea. There's many theories about it, and I'm not going to go into it because it's not my field of expertise. So you can do your own research. I know it was the fall of man and we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. How that would even be possible makes no sense for me, but that seems to be the story we're living in here. And we seem to manifest it as if it's really happening because we experience it through our five senses and through our mind. So, what if we turned off that little mind just for a moment and said, okay, that makes no sense. I'm not going to go there. And then you let yourself fall back into the field, the toroidal field. And then you may start noticing that this incredible energy, I kind of saw it with little hearts everywhere. So this love, this fountain of love, this love field, toroidal field of energy is simply who we are. So to go out there hoping that somebody is going to give you a box of chocolate today has nothing. I'm sorry, guys. It's so silly. What comes through me, I have to laugh at it. I don't know. I don't plan any of this. I do get a good laugh out of it sometimes. So you can you can leave this toroidal field and then go out and hope for a bouquet of flowers and a box of chocolate, and then hope that that's going to fulfill you. It's our choice. We do have free will, we do have choice, and we also have a good sense of humor, right? When you start seeing it, it's like it's such a big joke, unbelievable. So, of course, the invitation for this special day is by all means go out and have a lovely dinner with your beloved, with your friends, with your pets. Give each other chocolate and flowers and sweet cards. It's beautiful. There are beautiful ways that we can express this love that we are. But also give it to yourself. And again, that would be an outside gesture, as if you need to give it to yourself. And that can heal a lot of these gaps that we have inside, right? The gaps where we are denying ourselves to be experiencing our own toroidal love field. So when you see that you're doing that, and when you learn how to undo that, like Rumi says, your task is to seek and find the places where you have basically denied yourself love, right? Then you can consciously bring that there, and you can say, I'm so sorry. My God, what have I done to myself? Many times when we do that in that conscious way, it can be a lot of tears. A lot of these contractions or these gaps, now they can finally release that energy that was in so much pain and lack and suffering because we were holding the love away from that. So let's do that and let the tears flow. Let that energetic healing happen in the way that it needs to happen. And then you might get to a place where you can be very curious, or you might be able to do it right away and just let yourself. It's like a flow. It's almost like the ebb and flow, right? When it's ebb, you let the love just pull you back inside. And then see if you can stay there with an open, curious heart, an open prayer. Show me. What is this love? What is it? I can feel it. I can share it. What is it? Somehow we have believed that it might be coming from the outside and through us if we're lucky. But what if it's actually coming straight from our own true identity, from our own toroidal field? What if that's how it is? And if we stop doing the bypass or denying ourselves any of that beautiful energy that we are. And I want to just say again, this is also my own practice. I always share with you, I'm not beyond or above any of this. I'm just in an ongoing exploration, and I share with you what I have learned over the years, what works, what didn't work. And here's another one. There's a beautiful deepening that I'm being invited into now. And I'm inviting you into that same. Like, why wouldn't I? Let's explore this toroidal love field that we are. And then the more we can rest back into that and just allow that to live our lives, to fulfill us, because that is the fulfillment that we're looking for outside. We already are that. And that is very hard to understand from the mind. It's actually impossible. That's why we have to leave that old paradigm behind and be open, curious, receptive. Show me. I have no idea. You can tell your toroidal field. Show me what I am. Show me what is true about me, because I don't know. I only know what I've been conditioned and programmed to focus on. But now I want to know. So, my friends, let's sit in this toroidal love field together, this fountain of love and energy and fulfillment. Let's spend some time together today on this special day where love is, is the title. And let's make that more real than it was yesterday. And then tomorrow more. Let us make ourselves available. This is the energy that the world needs for transformation. Because when we fill out our own gaps inside that we have denied love, when we let them fill up from within, from our toroidal field, for some reason that's the word that's here today, then of course we naturally bring that out into the world, not even by doing anything, just by being who we are and not do the denying ourselves any of it. We just walk out into the world as a full field that impacts the world. It's just how it works. So let me know below if you want to join me in that, how this lands for you. Can you relate? Does it feel right for you? Maybe it doesn't, and that's okay. And if this is hard for you, which it is for most people, learning to open up to that love for ourselves, to ourselves, it's not something we learned. It's not something we were born into. We have to learn and practice and repeat it. So if you need help with that, I'm here for you. You can just set up a time with me for a self-discovery session, and then we'll just connect and see, are we a good match? Would I be the right one for you to work with to help you during this phase to really start turning the love towards yourself from the outside and the inside? So we get into this field all the way around. Okay, well, with that, I hope you have a wonderful day today, maybe with lots of chocolates and lots of flowers. Enjoy them. Thank you.